The title of today's class is
Alternative and Allopathic Approaches to Type 2 Diabetes.
the foundation for life, to have energy, to be able to move, is sugar. It's called glucose, what's in the bloodstream. The source of our glucose are carbohydrates and sugars, simple sugars and complex sugars. Through digestion, it gets into the bloodstream. Insulin is secreted from the gamma cells of the islets of Langerhans from the pancreas. It's brought to the insulin receptors along the tissue, and then glucose carriers will take the glucose from the receptor site to the mitochondria in the cell. The mitochondria then are the powerhouse that then uses it and transforms it to ATP, the basic energy needed to survive, to carry on all our functions that we have, whether it's striated muscles to move and do things for survival there, or smooth muscles, part of the autonomic system. That's the foundation. Now, the body is an amazing state of balance. It seeks equilibrium. It seeks, for instance, blood pressure equilibrium, not to go too high or too low. And the same with sugar. Too high, which is a hyperglycemia; too low, hypoglycemia. It seeks to keep it in a normal range of like 70 to 99 blood glucose in the blood when you take a measurement. The blood is a sample of blood is taken and a glucose measure taken. It seeks to keep it in that middle. Now, when we have the sugar, it enters the bloodstream, the islets of Langerhans from the pancreas secrete the insulin, and then it brings the glucose level down. But if it gets too low because we haven't eaten or there's some kind of metabolic disorder, then the liver kicks in. It has stored glycogen there. And what happens is then the alpha cells from the islets of Langerhans in the pancreas will secrete glycogen. Glycogen will then stimulate the liver to release glycogen, which is then transformed into glucose to raise the blood sugar up. So when insulin starts going, when blood sugar goes up, insulin comes in to bring it to the cells. When blood sugar goes low, then the glycogen kicks in to start its process through the liver to raise the blood sugar. That's the balance that we have. That's the physiology of what we're dealing with. An amazing balance that takes place. And all the systems are all interrelated. For instance, if the thyroid is not functioning properly, that's one of the precursors, could be a very important precursor to diabetes. And then if someone has diabetes, that affects the cardiovascular system, could be very damaging to the cardiovascular system, to the kidneys, to the eyes. We're going to go into that, but the whole body's interrelated. But diabetes is when the sugar is getting so thick in the blood, it's not able to enter the cells. And when the sugar is staying in the blood, the blood thickens. And when the blood thickens, it starts damaging various sites along the body. It damages the endothelial cells in the blood vessels. It damages the kidneys. It damages vision. High percentage of blindness in the United States is due to diabetes. So it's all interrelated. So when it's thickened in this way, especially once you get higher, like over 146, over 100, 126 is when you call it diabetes, but it even gets higher. It gets really thick. The blood gets really thick. A person might even have a sweet smell, and then it'll spill over into the urine. So the person then will actually have glucose in the urine. So people who are tested for diabetes are often tested for a urine test to see if any of the sugar got in there, and also the blood to see the level we have there. So we don't want the blood getting that thick. That's what damages that really thickened blood, and the high sugar is part of what damages the receptor sites. All systems, you have the hormones, and then the hormones work on receptor sites. In this case, it's insulin working on the receptor site on the cells. But all of them, whether any hormone at all, has a receptor. If you have testosterone, there are testosterone receptor sites.